Yes, we can. America, we have come so far. We have seen so much, but there's so much more to do. So tonight, let us ask ourselves, if our children should live to see the next century, if my daughters should be so lucky to live as long as Ann Nixon Cooper, what change will they see? What progress will we have made? This is our chance to answer that call. This is our moment. This is our time to put our people back to work and open doors of opportunity for our kids, to restore prosperity and promote the cause of peace, to reclaim the American dream and reaffirm that fundamental truth that out of many we are one, that while we breathe, we hope, and where we are met with cynicism and doubt and those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can. Thank you. God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Joe Biden, Vice President Harris, our dear friend, Madam Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, Congress who are in attendance today, members of Cabinet, it is good to be back in the White House. It's been a while. I confess, I heard some changes have been made by the current president since I was last here. Apparently Secret Service agents have to wear aviator glasses now. Navy mess has been replaced by a Baskin Robbins. And there's a cat running around. I guarantee you, Bo and Sonny would have been very unhappy. But coming back, even if I have to wear a tie, which I very rarely do these days, gives me a chance to visit with some of the incredible people who serve this White House and who serve this country every single day.
Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear
that I will execute the office of President to the United States faithfully.
That I will execute
the office of President of the United States
faithfully.
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve,
protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President. All the best wishes.
Yes, we can. We are in the middle of the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. 760,000 workers have lost their jobs so far this year. Businesses and families can't get credit, home values are falling, foreclosures are rising. Pensions are disappearing. It's harder to make the mortgage, or fill up your gas tank, or even pay the bills at the end of the month. So at the moment like this, the last thing we can afford is 4 more years of the same old, tired, worn-out economic theories that say as long as we give more and more to billionaires, and millionaires and big corporations, prosperity will somehow trickle down on everybody else. The last thing we can afford is 4 more years of deregulation in the healthcare industry and the financial services industry so that consumers don't have basic protections and we put the entire economic system at risk. These are the economic theories that got us into this mess. They have not worked. It is time for a change. And that's why I'm running for President of the United States of America.
Omugenyi waffe omukulu essaawa yonna twongere oluvannyuma okweyongera okusanyuka n'olwekyo okusaba kujja kubeera wano tekujja kutwala budde bungi nnyo
It is clear we won in the ballot, we won in court, and we are now ready for swearing in, and a new government is formed to serve Ugandans. There are those who want to destabilize the country using any means. So it is incumbent on the police to ensure that they prevent such unruly and disorderly people who may want to cause havoc in the city.
I expect him to put more emphasis in the youth's education system and creating more jobs for the youths. Really, people are complaining that there are very scarce jobs in the country, and you find that many people who have studied and have their qualifications, they lack what to do. So I would like him to create more job opportunities for those people.
Security must be guaranteed, and this is why they elected President Yoweri Museveni, to ensure that he protects the people and he preserves the democracy.
2 wars, a planet in peril, the worst financial crisis in a century. Even as we stand here tonight, we know there are brave Americans waking up in the deserts of Iraq and the mountains of Afghanistan to risk their lives for us. There are mothers and fathers who will lie awake after their children fall asleep and wonder how they'll make the mortgage, or pay their doctor's bills, or save enough for their child's college education. There's new energy to harness, new jobs to be created, new schools to build, and threats to meet, alliances to repair. The road ahead will be long. Our climb will be steep. We may not get there in 1 year or even in 1 term, but America, I have never been more hopeful than I am tonight that we will get there. I promise you, we as a people will get there. Now I'm going to sign this bill.
All right, there we go. Our action, our leadership, is essential to the cause of human dignity. And so we must act and lead with confidence in our ideals and an abiding faith in the character of our people who sent us all here today. For there is one final quality that I believe makes the United States and the United Kingdom indispensable to this moment in history. And that is how we define ourselves as nations. Unlike most countries in the world, we do not define citizenship based on race or ethnicity. Being American or British is not about belonging to a certain group. It's about believing in a certain set of ideals. The rights of individuals, the rule of law. That is why we hold incredible diversity within our borders. That's why there are people around the world right now who believe that if they come to America, if they come to New York, if they come to London, if they work hard, they can pledge allegiance to our flag and call themselves Americans. If they come to England, they can make a new life for themselves and can sing God Save the Queen just like any other citizen. Yes, our diversity can lead to tension. And throughout our history, there have been heated debates about immigration and assimilation in both of our countries. But even as these debates can be difficult, we fundamentally recognize that our patchwork heritage is an enormous strength. That in a world which will only grow smaller and more interconnected, the example of our two nations says it is possible for people to be united by their ideals instead of divided by their differences. It is possible for hearts to change and old hatreds to pass. That it's possible for the sons and daughters of former colonies to sit here as members of this great parliament, and for the grandson of a Kenyan who served as a cook in the British Army to stand before you as President of the United States. That is what defines us. That is why the young men and women in the streets of Damascus and Cairo still reach for the rights our citizens enjoy, even if they sometimes differ with our policies. As two of the most powerful nations in the history of the world, we must always remember that the true source of our influence hasn't just been the size of our economies, or the reach of our militaries, or the land that we've claimed. It has been the values that we must never waver in defending around the world. The idea that all beings are endowed by our Creator with certain rights that cannot be denied. That is what forged our bond in the fire of war. A bond made manifest by the friendship between two of our greatest leaders. Churchill and Roosevelt had their differences. They were keen observers of each other's blind spots and shortcomings, if not always their own. And they were hard-headed about their ability to remake the world. But what joined the fates of these two men at that particular moment in history was not simply a shared interest in victory on the battlefield. It was a shared belief in the ultimate triumph of human freedom and human dignity. A conviction that we have a say in how this story ends. This conviction lives on in their people today. The challenges we face are great. The work before us is hard. But we have come through a difficult decade, and whenever the tests and trials ahead may seem too big or too many, let us turn to their example and the words that Churchill spoke on the day that Europe was freed. In the long years to come, not only will the people of this island, but the world, wherever the bird of freedom chirps in the human heart, look back to what we've done, and they will say, do not despair, do not yield, march straight forward. With courage and purpose, with humility and with hope, with faith in the promise of tomorrow, let us march straight forward, together, enduring allies, in the cause of a world that is more peaceful, more prosperous, and more just. Thank you very much.